Hello, my friends. Welcome to another Immune Boost Ministry Minute. I'm your host, Amanda Page Williams. Today's verse is found in Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 25. Immediately, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the water. These verses, stood out to me after what could have been a very exhausting day. But the beauty of having an intimate relationship with the Lord is if you take the time, like Jesus did here, to be alone and pray. Take that time alone with your Holy Father to pray and to study and to know Him. When you do that, and you're setting up each day to have your eyes opened extremely wide to all of the blessings around you, so that you can't get fixated on any of the trouble that the devil wants you to get fixated on. Because when we get fixated on it, when we get focused on that trouble, we get lost in that trouble. We get overwhelmed by that trouble. And we feel like we're alone, when in all reality, we're not alone. God is always with us. But when we choose to be with Him and know Him, we experience His peace. So back to the beginning of this section, immediately Jesus had the disciples get out of the boat and go ahead of him. If they had not had the opportunity to know Jesus and walk with him, in the midst of that storm, they could have gotten overwhelmed by that storm. But instead, because they already had an intimate relationship with Jesus, He came out to meet them. And in the midst of that storm, they got to witness a miracle. That's why we get to know God. The more we know Him, the more He shows us. The more He opens our eyes to the blessings that are already around us. He helps us to have His peace again, so that we don't get fixated on all the bad stuff. We don't become negative. Buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. It's so easy nowadays, and it's been this way forever. But we're living in the here and now. And to help you get through the here and now, in this new year, 2022, Happy New Year, we can choose to know Him so that He can guide us through this year, because He already knows what's coming. Or we can choose to try and do it ourselves. His way's better. He sees it all. He can open our eyes to the blessings around us, or we can walk in the dark by ourselves. We can make that choice. Make that choice to know Him, so that you can see miracles and blessings as well. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the water. There are so many blessings around us. I choose to see those blessings, and I hope you do too. But you know what? Read these verses yourself. Read the Bible yourself. I had the opportunity that day that it seemed like a big storm right from the get-go. I was woke up by my carbon monoxide detector going off. And then when I got the dog out to the car, his canvas bowl that never spills water spilled all over the back seat, and I didn't have his cover on the back seat because he had messed his cover up, and I had just yanked it out the day prior to get it cleaned and had not put anything back in there. So the whole back seat was all messed up and wet, and I could have lost it. I could have gotten focused on all that. Later on in the day, I had to drive 6 hours away to go help my hubby, and it was just a jam-packed day. But God guided me through the whole thing. The old me, my old flesh, would have panicked and decided first thing in the morning that it was going to be a horrible day, and it wasn't. He helped me to see the blessings. He put all kinds of cool people around me with great advice and helped to open my eyes and realize that my situation wasn't that bad. He allowed me to go away and pray first thing and gave me some peace and quiet away from my carbon monoxide detector. And it just wound up being a very blessed day. If I didn't have him, I couldn't have seen that. I would have been all caught up in the difficult things, because that whole day was potentially difficult. But thanks to him, I had peace that whole day. And you can experience that too. Don't take my word for it. Read it yourself. And then I will see you tomorrow on Tuesday. I don't know if I'll have a testimony Tuesday. I haven't had one of those in a while, but he's the one who provides all of this, not me. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow.